Hello, all, and welcome back to Great Ace Attorney Adventures. We have just started the second chapter of the game. I keep wanting to call it a trial, even though we don't ever really go on trial.
It's episodes, is what they say on the screen there. If we want to go with that.
I'm not. Well, because I feel like episode
It's kind of weird.
is kind of weird. Because it feels more like an arc than like an episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially because there's like an intermission every time.
Basically. Anyways, to recap what has happened, we stowed away on a boat in Kazuma's trunk. We have lampshaded this in some of our other videos. And now he's dead.
Rip.
And we were found in the wardrobe.
No, okay, because like I do feel like it like sounds a bit flippant because like Kazuma's death is like a really big deal in the game itself. But this is not our first time playing it, and I don't think it's really major spoilers to point out that he also comes back in the second game. He's not dead.
Yeah, I do feel like we do like genuinely acknowledge that like the characters themselves in this situation are like genuinely grieving, which like you can like feel for them, right? Like you feel sympathy for them, but like you don't have to be that sad because he is going to come back.
And also, we have not reached him yet. We probably will. We might this episode.
It might be next episode.
That they may kill off our boyfriend, but they will introduce a new boy toy soon.
Well, I mean,
to assuage the distress.
Yeah, he Mickey refers to him as his boy toy. I refer to him as my husband, and I do refer to him as that in a very, very different way than like I refer to Susato as my wife. I'm like, Susato is my wife. It's because I just love her and I think she's great. She's like a fantastic character, and she's always coming in to fucking save your ass when you need it.
Oh yeah, she's so good.
She's such a great character. However, with the new character that has been introduced at least a little bit in the the opening the prologue cutscene. There we go.
Wow, you got there.
We got there.
I was trying to find the right word. But in the prologue cutscene, Herlock Sholmes is my husband, and when I call him my husband, what I mean is that I want that man to breed me every single day for like 3 weeks straight. I don't care.
He's a silly man.
He's such a good character.
I like him. He's silly.
He's so hot.
Yeah, he is violence. He is violence.
He is hot enough to be a weapon against anyone who is attracted to men. So
you think you're gonna hate him because he's so goddamn annoying, but then he keeps going, and you're like, "Fuck."
I will say that both Mickey and I went through the like phase after like meeting him of like I can't stand this dude, but like honestly, as like by the time we get like halfway through this like episode, quote unquote, I was already like in love with him. I was mad. I was like mad at him being wrong all the time. And Mickey was like, "You're just mad because you want to fuck him so bad." And that's when it like clicked in my mind, and I was like, "Fuck! I want to fuck him so bad."
I mean, I think when I first played through the game, like, it wasn't until we get to England and see what he's doing in England that like it really clicked. Okay, because like another thing too is that he's like the first. Well, he's the first not actively antagonistic British person we meet. Because you've got Giselle Brett, obviously. Yeah. And that, like, he does come off as, like, extremely annoying. And then you meet all of the other British characters. And you're like, he's all right by me.
Yes.
Because you're like, he's so annoying, he's so condescending. And you meet the other British people and you're like, oh, no. He admits when he's wrong.
I know, right?
Well, he doesn't admit it. He just keeps steamrolling ahead. He's like, I was right the whole time.
He has his own way of admitting his wrong by saying he was right the whole time, but knowing that he's wrong. You can just like feel it in the way he presents himself that like
He never fights back when you correct him.
that too. Like he never fights back when you correct him, and he like even when he's like being dramatic, he's never taking himself like too seriously. Which is like another part of it, right? Is that like you really can like make a lot of concessions for someone who like doesn't take themselves too seriously and doesn't expect you to take them seriously.
He's also a very interesting character when you like figure out exactly how much he knows and doesn't know, and you realize
that's so delicious.
I wouldn't say he's playing 3D chess. He's playing 3D checkers and pretending he's playing chess.
He's not playing 3D checkers. He's playing regular 2D checkers.
He's playing Uno.
All right, and sometimes he'll like flick a piece at you because he's bored.
But we were talking about how you're playing chess with him, and he's eating the pieces and replacing them with checker pieces.
And you're like, stop that. Now I don't
Take
know.
that out of your mouth.
What's in your mouth? I will say you better not be saying things about what he's saying again.
I'll restrain myself.
You better not either.
I'm not saying crap.
I swear to fuck. Anyways, back to the case.
Why did this happen?
Oh, I have to get into being sad mode. Give me one second. Why did this have to happen? Ugh, I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry, but Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it.
You were asleep.
And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! He's dead. What the fuck was that? What was a Susato takedown? A Susato what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yeah, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to? Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence.
She was like, I had to hear Kazuma talk about you non-stop 4 weeks. Present evidence to me right now.
I know, right? I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime.
What could it be?
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, in the wardrobe, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Yeah, it was. I remember it clearly. I thought so. Cosimo always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So, naturally, he did the same last night as well. Yeah, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them.
I will just say, I do love this entire scene is Ryunosuke lying on the floor, having just a regular conversation with Susato.
I know. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yeah, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you.
Yeah,
And
that
this is
really
when
off.
Susato becomes our wife.
Our wife comrade.
Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think you could perhaps help me up? Please.
Please.
Well, in light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you use some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. Honestly, this is the reason why I give Susato the Bogwitch voice, because sometimes she says the dumbest shit, and you're like, Susato, please.
Oh, yeah, she and Ryunosuke share one single brain cell, and she does have it
Most of the time.
most of the time. But then every once in a while, it is just gone.
We don't know where she eats it to. And this is one of those times. This is one of those times she just, flicked it out the window or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
What does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. If he was a magician, why didn't he just conjure a fucking ticket onto this cruise, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Why would he stow away? Come on, Susato, use your brain for 30 seconds. I'll do the same.
I mean, one thing I will give her in defense is that, it doesn't make any sense for Ryunosuke to have done this. But then who did is the next question.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of what she's doing here is she's like, okay, give me another, option, another solution.
Yeah.
And I will listen to you.
Yeah. Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. Wow. He really was like, come on, let's do this together. And she was like, I'm not associated with you. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. Which is fucking hilarious for her to say. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example.
No, I'm also thinking about
Right.
how, when you get to England, people keep on being well, especially Van Zeke, doing the Nipponese and their tricks. But, Susato's, sitting there doing the same exact thing where she's like, are you a magician?
What kind of magic are you using?
And Ryunosuke's like, huh?
My huh? Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. I said, we've already talked to Susato all the way, yeah.
Yeah, need to investigate, examine now, yeah.
There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yeah, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No.
Girl. We love you. We love her so much. But sometimes she
Oh
just says
dear,
that.
that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused, I forget to look around properly. Oh, yeah, that's not so good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruto-san? No? I love this tutorial, so fucking funny.
Mhm.
I'm sure you're careful to look all around using left, right, aren't you? Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin.
I do choose to believe that in this situation, she's like doing the same thing she does with Sholmes, where she's like,
Are you stupid?
Miyanosuke-san, or Naruhodo-san, you do know how to turn your head from left to right, correct?
And Ryunosuke's like, nope.
He's like, oh, I just remembered.
I forgot about that. I forgot I have a functional neck. Oh, yeah, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. He's so funny. And look, oh my god, we can look around. Look,
Oh my god.
a vent. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. Through which fresh air can circulate through the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, I mean, like, that ventilator doesn't connect to outside. It looks like it connects next door. Yeah. You're right. So if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, it's not doing that. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough. Or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. A bit.
A bed?
It's
room?
some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. A bed in a room? Yeah, you're right. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruto-san? No, Kazuma let me sleep in his bed with him.
Yeah, I know. Like, is that... Girl, you can just ask.
I think living isn't quite the right description, especially because Kazuma would take me out for walkies. Oh no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout.
I do like to think that at some point, someone like knocked on the door and Ryunosuke was like the only one there, and he just like tied the red headband around his head and was like, "Hello, I am Kazuma."
And they were like, okay. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yeah, I did basically have to live in that wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. I am gonna say that, like, if these, like, doors bolt from the inside and, like, the door was bolted and they had to, like, break in, how could the crew members then open the door at any time?
Good question.
Thanks, my love.
I mean, okay, like, I think it might also be a situation where, like, if they knock and they hear, like, 2 voices inside, they're going to be suspicious.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like if somebody knocks, it, like, they can be like, hold on, I'm not decent. Hold on, I'm not decent. I was fucking my boyfriend who I snuck in my trunk.
Mm-hmm.
That's my dinner from last night. A roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yeah, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here?
She is so funny for this one.
No, because that's the thing, is that there are times where Susato's being dumb, like the fucking conjuring trick, and there's sometimes where Susato's being fucking hilarious, like right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how did the plate end up on the floor? But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant that all the more for me. And I did say this last time we recorded this too, but I also don't really care for chicken. Like, I like fried, and like it really has to be like seasoned well for me to like really like it. But like, it often like doesn't have enough like flavor for me to care.
I like the lack of flavor.
I know you like the lack of flavor, but like,
it's a good default.
It is a good like default, but like I always find it like so hard to like season unless you're like planning it like really well in advance, that like it doesn't feel too worth it for me. Like I prefer like pork because that's easy to season.
Mm.
And if you don't season it, it's basically like chicken. Oh no, what does that mean? Poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. Why are you making that face?
Oh no, that was just John.
Oh, I can't see your mouth over like the screen.
No, that was not me making like a face. Because I was thinking a little bit like, people carried guns all the time. Why would a katana be an issue? But like,
racism.
Yeah.
I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. Yeah, I mean, like, evidently these people are genuinely grieving. Seigi, the Japanese word for justice. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce that right. Somebody in the comments will
Seiji?
correct me.
I think that'd be Seiji.
No,
Or
that's not how G's work in Japanese.
Oh no, that would be a J sound.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, the G's don't make a J sound in, like, followed by E's or I's in Japanese. They just stay G. They would use a J if it was a J sound.
No, I was thinking about the stress on the syllable more.
Well, yeah, that's mostly it. I do not know where the stress of the syllable is, or what, like, the vowels are, like, long or short. The Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma, except for the straight part. Yeah. His calligraphy was a reflection of his heart. Which, like, okay, she does say this, like, as if this is, like, exclusively for Kazuma, but I do think that's, like, a belief that Japanese people just, like, have about, like, anyone's calligraphy.
Yeah.
Yet you... Can you really look at those characters without feeling shame? Knowing who drew them so thoughtfully?
Now, the thing I don't know is I'm like, is that really, like, amazing calligraphy, or is it just, like, standard calligraphy and Susato's like, Kazuma had the best.
Well, I do think that, like, it's probably that Kazuma's, like, calligraphy does have, like, more, like, thought or, like, intention put into it than, like, Ryunosuke's probably does.
Yeah.
But that, like, I don't think it's, like, all that crazy. Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship? How does that have anything to do with it? Now you're going to bring it up? I can't win. She is so funny. She's like, I'm gonna give you the hardest time of anyone. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman thinks of the scene of the crime. Excuse me?
What?
I was wondering how it's going, the investigation, I mean.
Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it is not true, I see.
Sorry?
The criminal asked investigator for information about this crime. Very funny.
Oh. It wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
Yes, of course not. Now go back to corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you.
Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered.
You have to read the rules. Oh, yeah, I look at the door too, actually.
There's a lot of stuff I gotta look at. When I went for help, and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small boat, fuck, damn it! It's quite a small bolt, and not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure.
Because one thing, like, I was thinking about with, like, in terms of, like, crew members breaking, or, like, yeah, a crew member, like, breaking in, is that, like, technically speaking, they could beat the door down at any time, but you wouldn't think that they would want to do that.
Yeah, because then they have to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, first of all, it can't, like, be that, like, easy to fix, especially on, like, a goddamn moving boat.
Mm-hmm.
But, also just, like, they didn't seem to have, like, keys. Otherwise, they wouldn't have to break the door down.
Yeah.
Which is just whack. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from the outside of the room in a situation like this. Ooh, Susato's little book! I'm sorry, I love her little book. Yeah, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself.
I was like, yeah, you just activated her by mentioning you like detective stories.
He was like, I read a detective story once, and she's like, I've read all of the detective stories. Don't worry. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. I wouldn't be so sure. But okay. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Is that Rinosuke is just having a crush?
Yeah, I'm like, Ryunosuke, I know you've been with Cosmo for a while. But that's just called attraction.
That's called being attracted to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You're already attracted to her because she threw you all across the room.
Mm-hmm.
These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Bria. It's essentially a list of requests made from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Do love the sword still just lying on the floor.
They did mention when you looked at the sword that Kazuma petitioned for it specifically.
But even then, like, it's not like necessarily the people on the boat have to respect that.
Yeah, because that's the thing is, I would not be surprised if a boat in this time, like, where you had to turn in your weapons and you got them back at the end of the trip.
Yeah. But it is in his room though.
Yeah.
What? Why are you staring at me? This is so funny. Oh, sorry. I was just
so
thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet?
A pet.
A pet. She already called him a dog for eating on the goddamn floor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I don't eat on the floor. What the fuck? I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although, he's fallen over as well. Yeah, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. I wonder if perhaps it was Cosmo-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think?
When will Girly Pop's brain cell return from the war?
I know, oh my god. Well, and so when we first did this case, I did notice this bit. This shelf in the background.
Yeah.
Was all messed up, and I was like, I think that has something to do with, and it's obvious, but I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps it was Yuna-san in a fit of rage. I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue.
I think the thing that threw me off with this is that I was like, oh, the ship obviously, something, knocked all over all the books, and it was probably the ship.
Yeah.
Just, hitting, a high wave. But I assumed that the reason why Ryunosuke's head ached was because
he hit his
really
head?
choppy seas.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
And I was like, There's other stuff later.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see all mess.
How you like this, girly pop?
She's like, I don't want you tampering with the crime scene.
That's
But
my
then I'm
job.
going to tamper with the crime scene.
That's her job.
I know. Alright, and at this point we will say to be continued.
Ah, yes. Hey guys, this is Mickey. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, hit random buttons under the video. I think YouTube likes that. I'm the one in charge of the comment section, so just say whatever you want. I don't care. It's engagement. If you want to contact us or send us art, there's some links in the description. Have a good day.